everyone, to City Chat with City Magazine. I'm Kilee, Harmon, General Manager of City Magazine, and today we are visiting with somewhat of a legend here in Bismarck, Mr. Mike Peluso. Say hi to the camera.
Hello.
Say hello to all the people that are out there watching you today.
Absolutely. Hello.
And you are one of the owners of the stadium and the lodge.
Correct. Yeah, I've been involved with that since 2006 when we first came in as just a bar back in September of 06, and we've kind of grown since then. And things just kind of keep climbing up on us, and we make adjustments as we go. But it's been fun. The journey's been pretty interesting.
Well, before we get into that, though, I mean, you are a very big hockey legend here in the Bismarck area. Tell us about your hockey career for people that are moving into this area that maybe just don't know.
Well, yeah, my family moved to Bismarck, North Dakota back in 1974. Kind of came out here with aspirations of finding work, and my dad obviously was a hockey player himself. He played his 4 years out at Denver University. Okay. Basically graduated from college, didn't know what he was going to do, and he got a coaching job out here. And next thing you know, he was running the ice arena, Schaumburg Ice Arena, which is still here.
Which one is that?
And that's the one down south, kind of down by Walker Pool.
Okay, yes.
And
yes.
Back in those days, I was the only building down there. It was a cornfield all the way around it, and it was pretty much in its infancy stages as far as hockey goes. And it's grown. Obviously we got 3 indoor arenas now. Pretty successful program. There's 600 plus kids that play. I'm currently the head coach for Bismarck High School, and enjoying every minute of it. But it's amazing how my journey has brought me back to Bismarck, which I think is pretty cool. I grew up here. I played all my youth sports, in the Bismarck community. Went on to,
What high school did you go to?
I went to Bismarck High. Yeah.
Bismarck High.
I'm a maroon and white guy, and that's why it's adds a little extra now that I'm the coach there. So it's pretty cool. My father coached there as well, so it's kind of following in his footsteps. And I didn't finish out my high school career in Bismarck. I actually left early my senior year. Traveled down to Omaha, Nebraska to play in the United States Hockey League, and that was a great move for me. Obviously, for my hockey career, I played 2 seasons there. Went on, got a scholarship to play at the University of Minnesota Duluth.
So did you get a chance to finish high school while you were?
I did, and I actually, when I went to high school down there my senior year, I came back for the last month and a half to graduate with my class. So I did graduate at Bismarck High. So it was, it was different. I didn't, it was tough that year trying to balance school and hockey. I was a young kid. I left when I was 16 years old, and it's never an easy thing to do, to leave friends and family behind. And certainly I love to hunt and fish. I was leaving all that behind as well, but it was one of those things. I had to make a decision to try and move my hockey career along. I felt like I had an opportunity to hopefully do something in the game of hockey, and I spent the 2 years down there and did get a scholarship for the University of Minnesota Duluth, and spent 4 great years up there. Yep, absolutely. And I was drafted by the Calgary Flames in 1994, and I never actually played with them. I got traded out of there right before I was supposed to sign with them, which was probably a good thing at the time, because the way the Canadian dollar was back in those days, it wasn't, obviously at the same level it is today, and it was a perfect move for me. I ended up in the Washington Capitals organization and spent 3 years there. Played up in Portland, Maine, which is a awesome city. Had great times. Got called up a couple times. Never got a game. Never got to play with the Washington Capitals during the regular season. Did play some exhibition games with them, and bounced around a little bit. Then I got traded to the St. Louis Blues organization, and had a great year there. Played in the All-Star game and a couple other things, and then I finally got my break in 2000 with the Chicago Blackhawks. I made the team out of training camp and played roughly 40 games with them, and had a great time. And then closed out my year, or my hockey career, basically in Philadelphia. Played with the Flyers a little bit. Got injured that year, so it was kind of a rough way to go out.
Oh, how did you get injured?
Well, just little nicks and bruises. I had had knee surgery and things like that, but I had actually tore my pectoral muscle working out on an off day, and I was called up at that time, and just never really bounced back. I mean, I played the rest of the year, but just never, got back to where I felt, where I should have been. And the NHL locked out in 2004, and that's what kind of brought me back to Bismarck.
Oh, wow. So that's kind of a crazy, all over the place.
That's kind of the shortened version of it, but that's pretty much sums it up. And, I came back here, didn't know what I was going to do, to be quite honest with you. I volunteered as an assistant coach of the Bismarck Bobcats.
I remember
under Chad Johnson. I was there for 1 year. Then I actually took the assistant coaching job, and I spent 3 seasons with the Bobcats. And the travel was starting to get a little hectic. I had been doing it for 13 years, basically away from home traveling. I tried to step away from the game of hockey a little bit. That didn't last long. I ended up taking the head coaching job at Bismarck High. It just so happened it opened up.
This isn't much perfect though, because it's not.
It's a shorter year. There's not as much travel. Obviously, it's all in state, and it was a perfect fit for me. We did something that was pretty special. We made it to the state tournament. Obviously, so far all 3 years that I've been there, but we made it to the state finals 2 out of those 3 years. We haven't quite got over that hump yet. I've been a part of that championship game 3 times and have walked away second place each time. So hopefully, if I hang in there long enough, we'll pull one off here. So that's my goal. You know, Bismarck High has only been to that game 3 times, and I've been a part of all 3. So I want to make sure that I stick around long enough to get that championship.
So when do you actually start practicing hockey with your kids?
Well, with the high school team, they're actually going right now.
I figured they had to be.
But I can't obviously be a part of that. I can't step on the ice till roughly November 9th with them. But I do put a lot of things together for them, and you know, for summers and falls, so they continue to progress. And you know, we've got a really young bunch, but a fun bunch. I'm looking forward to getting back on the ice with them.
Very cool. And when will that be?
Well, roughly November. We are in contract negotiations again. I might be stepping in as a part-time assistant with the Bobcats again, so I just can't get away from that game of hockey, but that's all right. I love it and I enjoy it, and it's fun working with those kids.
Well, then why get away from it though? Because if it is part of your passion.
It is, you know, and you know, people ask me all the time why I don't play. You know, they got men's leagues and things in town, and I don't like to play the game anymore. You know, it was a job for too many years. I love the game of hockey, don't get me wrong. I love teaching the game, and I love seeing these young athletes, you know, excel, not only on the ice, more or less just as human beings. And that's the fun part for me, to pass on what I've learned. And, you know, I was one of the fortunate ones to come out of Bismarck, North Dakota and play in the NHL, one of the only ones. But, you know, that's my goal, is to see another young man get that opportunity. So we'll kind of keep moving forward and see what happens.
Very cool. So now you came back to Bismarck, and like you said, you really didn't know what you were going to do. How the heck did you get involved with a restaurant and bar when it's like really opposite ends of the spectrum?
It really is. You know, it's kind of funny. I always thought I was going to open up some type of business at some point in time. Never knew what that would be. I had dabbled a little bit maybe with the thought of opening up a sporting goods store with, you know, hockey being a primary focus. Never really pursued it. I kind of let it go. I decided to bartend. I was kind of bored. I didn't have much going on. So
where were you bartending?
I was bartending at the Bistro, and we were in there one night, and a friend of mine, Lisa Hickson, her father owns quite a few bars here in town, made the comment that, geez, everybody that's in here is, you know, your friends. Maybe you should think about opening up a bar. And I kind of tongue-in-cheek that I said, yeah, maybe I should, you know. And next thing you know, she starts calling people and gets some investors and finds property. And here I am. I'm part owner of the Stadium Sports Bar, and that's kind of how it started. And it's just really amazing how it's progressed.
Now, I have to say, because, I mean, that building has seemed cursed for a while, because I mean, in all honesty, I remember it was the Tropical Island.
Correct, yeah.
And then it was
Sammy's Pizza.
And then you guys went in there, but you guys have actually stuck.
Yeah, you know, we actually leased that side of Sammy's, so they came in the same time we did. You know, that's a very popular pizza place up in Minot in northern Minnesota, and for whatever reason, it never took hold here, and they came to us basically asking us to get out of their lease, and so we sat down as an ownership group and decided that we've got to find something to go in there, obviously, and I went and got my computer from my Chicago playing days, and I had basically a model of a bar called The Lodge. And I brought it to him, and I said,
so wait a second, you put this together when you were in college, way back when you knew something like that.
Absolutely, and I kind of had a vision of a more casual, laid-back atmosphere, no smoking certainly at that time, just a little bit different venue to give people an option to come in. They can go right or left. If they want to smoke, they could go to the stadium side at that time, and if they didn't, they could come to the Lodge, and it was more of a quiet atmosphere on that side. Which
was perfect. I mean, it was really cool because, I mean, like you said, you gave them that option.
Yeah, correct, and we knew that we wanted to have a food service as well, and we felt that would be a great place for people to sit down and, you know, eat a little bit and just basically talk and not have music blaring, but you still got your TVs and things of that nature, and it really has seemed to help both bars. They kind of bounce off each other, they play with each other as far as getting people to cross over, and I think that's been a good mix for us.
So no, because like the Lodge is more of the restaurant bar, and then the stadium is more of the bar with some food.
Correct. Yeah, you know, and it's the same menu on both sides, but you know, you can go in there at any given day, and it's a drastic change. You know, you got a lot of young kids on the stadium side, the older crowd maybe on the Lodge side, but again, they intermingle, and it's really kind of cool to see.
So now we have to talk, because I mean, everyone knows about the Bismarck smoking ban and how that has passed and all those bars that were smoking bars had to change to not smoking. So how has that affected your guys' business?
Well, certainly I'm kind of a huge fan of making your own choice, and certainly we didn't want to see it turn into a thing where they're telling us how to operate our business, and unfortunately it went through. I'm not going to lie to you, it really took a hit on our business. I mean, we were down probably right around 40% for the first 3 months that it took place. And,
oh my word.
Certainly we come into summers where that's a slower time anyway for us. The flood did not help, obviously. I kept a lot of people away, and we're starting to rebound a little bit on that side now. I think people are getting a little bit more conditioned, so to speak. They kind of know what to expect now, as before they were more mad. I mean, they just kind of said, well, we ain't going, and it wasn't our fault.
It wasn't your fault.
Yeah, and that was kind of the frustrating thing, to try and educate people as to why this happened, and what we need to do to make adjustments. And certainly, again, it's a private business. I kind of struggle with that, but it is what it is. We'll live with it. It's not a perfect situation for us, because we did invest a lot of money. Yeah, we invested a lot of money to give people a choice. And certain places did not do that, but that was their choice. So I guess I kind of struggle with that. And they fought it as far as the employees, safety and health. But when I'm the manager there and I've got 98% of my employees begging to work on the stadium side, it kind of tells me something. So it's an interesting scenario, but it's it is what it is now, and I think everybody's starting to adjust, and we're all moving forward. And to be quite honest with you, I think it'll be a good thing in the long run.
Probably will be, because it shows in some of the other cities that have gone like this. The research has shown that yes, it has hurt in the beginning, but eventually those bars do bounce back.
Correct, and that was the thing that we were most worried about, is how long can we sustain being down in sales? We're not a situation where we're making millions and millions of dollars. I mean, we're paying our bills as we go. We're kind of paycheck to paycheck, and you start missing a couple of those paychecks and you start scrambling. So we've been able to survive, so to speak, and I think we're going to be okay. But there might not be, some people might not be in that same situation. So hopefully everybody survives and able to continue to move forward in their business.
So now, what are you guys doing on the stadium side? Are you guys doing any remodeling, any new concept, or what's going to be there?
Yeah, we're still in planning phase. It's taken a little longer than we'd like to have had it done already. We've had some things happening as far as our ownership group, and that's kind of delayed a little bit, but we're at that point now where I think we're going to readjust our patio. It's going to be more of an indoor-outdoor feel. It's kind of a tough situation, because with our liquor license, we can't serve out on the patio. People can bring their beverages out there, but we cannot physically take them out to them. So,
and that's because of a city ordinance.
Correct, and that makes it a little bit difficult, but we want to give a customer an opportunity to do what they want to do, and obviously go outside, and if it's smoke or whatever, so be it. But we are going to change it. We're going to open it up a little bit that way. If we have bands playing inside, if people that want to sit out on the patio can still feel like they're a part of it, and I'm excited. I think it'll be kind of a playoff. The Buffalo Wild Wings up in Minot's got a patio very similar to what we'd like to do. So we're excited. Hopefully we can get that thing going here this fall and be ready before football season. But we're starting to get close to that. So we'll have to make a move here pretty soon.
So now football season has to be like one of your guys' biggest times of the year.
It is, especially on the stadium side. It just seems like our business really takes off early September, and certainly that's when football season starts. So yeah, we're excited. Obviously, we're more of a fall, winter type bar anyway. Summers, and people by nature in this community can't wait to get outside. I mean, we're trapped indoors for 8 months plus with.
They flock to the outdoors.
And I don't blame them, and I'm the same way. So again, the summers stay light out later, and people just don't want to come in during the summer, and that's fine, and I don't blame them. So hopefully, again, once winter rolls around, we'll be ready to go and be able to give them a good place to come and enjoy.
So now I have to ask you, since football is such a big portion of your guys' year, what was it like at the Super Bowl game this year with the Green Bay Packers going in?
Well, we've got an interesting group.